All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're exploring the super fascinating world of personality. We're going to look through 4 completely different lenses that psychologists use to try and understand what makes each of us, well, us.
I mean, seriously, have you ever just stopped and thought about that? What is it that makes you, you? Is it your thoughts? The things you do? Your emotions? We're going to explore where that unique, consistent thing we all call personality actually comes from.
So, to make sure we're all on the same page, what exactly is personality? Well, in psychology, it's defined as the unique and, this is the really important part, the relatively stable ways we think, feel, and act. You can kind of think of it as the core blueprint for who you are over time.
To help us understand this, we're going to use 4 different maps. Now look, no single map can show you the whole picture, of course, but each one gives us a really unique perspective on the incredibly complex territory of the human mind. Let's start with the one that basically kicked this whole field off.
Okay, our first map takes us deep, deep down into the mind, and our guide is the one and only Sigmund Freud. This is the psychodynamic perspective. And the big idea here is that our personality is shaped by these powerful, often hidden inner forces. His really revolutionary concept? That the biggest drivers of who you are things you can't even see. They're operating completely in the dark, totally outside your awareness. And this is the perfect way to picture it. Freud famously compared the mind to an iceberg. That little tiny tip sticking out of the water, that's our conscious mind, whatever you're thinking about right this second. Just below the surface is the preconscious, stuff you could remember if you tried. But the huge, massive part hidden deep underwater, that's the unconscious. And Freud believed it's just packed with these primal urges, deep fears, and buried memories that are secretly steering the ship.
And inside our minds, according to this theory, there's a constant battle raging. First up, you've got the id. Think of it like your inner toddler, just screaming, "I want it, and I want it now." Then you have the superego, which is like your internal moral compass, whispering about what you should do. And caught right in the middle is the ego, the practical manager just trying to find a compromise. Your personality, then, is basically just the outcome of this never-ending internal negotiation.
So what if personality isn't only about what's going on inside you? Our next lens shifts the focus to the world around you. This is the social cognitive view, and it argues that we are absolutely shaped by our environment, but just as importantly, by how we think about that environment.
Now, what's so cool about this is that it's a dynamic cycle, not just a one-way street. A psychologist named Albert Bandura called this reciprocal determinism. Here's how it works. Your thoughts influence your behavior. Your behavior then affects your environment. And then that environment feeds back and shapes your thoughts. It's this constant feedback loop. You're not just a product of your environment, you're an active architect in it.
Our third lens gives us a much more optimistic map. The humanistic perspective is actually a reaction against those darker, more deterministic views. It's all about our potential for growth, our freedom to choose our own path, and that natural, built-in drive to become the best version of ourselves.
One of the key figures here, Carl Rogers, believed we all have 2 selves. There's the real self, which is who you honestly see yourself as, flaws and all. And then there's the ideal self, the person you really aspire to be. Rogers said that feeling good, feeling psychologically healthy, comes from a close match between these 2. When there's a huge gap between them, that's where anxiety and stress creep in.
So, how do we get those 2 cells to line up? Well, for Rogers, the secret sauce was something called unconditional positive regard. It sounds kind of fancy, but it just means love and acceptance with absolutely no strings attached. It's that feeling of being valued for exactly who you are, which gives us the security we need to grow into our most authentic selves. All right, our fourth and final lens is much more practical. See, instead of trying to explain why we are the way we are, treat theory is more focused on simply describing what we're like. Its goal is to identify and measure the consistent, lasting characteristics that make up our personality. And the most popular model here by far is the Big Five. It's super easy to remember with the acronym OCEAN. So O is for openness to new experiences. C is for conscientiousness, like your level of organization. E is extroversion, how much you need to be around people. A is agreeableness, how friendly and easygoing you are. And N is neuroticism, which is basically a measure of emotional stability. The idea is that your unique personality is just a specific blend of where you fall on each of these 5 scales.
So we've got our 4 powerful maps: the hidden world of the unconscious, the influence of our environment, our amazing drive to grow, and the core traits that define us. But even with all these perspectives, we're still missing a couple of crucial pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, to get the whole picture, you really have to factor in biology and culture too. Our genetics basically hand us our temperament. That's our starting point for emotional reactions. Are you naturally more chill or more high-strung? And then the culture we grow up in gives us the rule book for how we should express our personality. Like, is the focus on you as an individual or on the group as a whole? And this all leads us to a really important takeaway, which this quote captures perfectly. The truth is, personality is just incredibly complex. Each theory we've gone over gives us a vital piece of the puzzle, but not a single one holds the complete answer all by itself.
So, as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this question. Thinking about your own life, your own patterns and habits, which of these maps, the inner driver, the worldly shaper, the drive to grow, or the description of traits, which one resonates the most with you? Which one helps you best understand what makes you, you?